had a really big mess on the carpet. First, we had to clean up the sticks that were on the newspaper. And then, when we rolled up the newspaper, what happened to some of the
There's
sticks?
sticks all over. They fell off.
And where did they land?
On the carpet.
That's right. So we had to clean that up. So it took us longer than we expected. And we kept kind of setting goals. But surprisingly, we were not just tidying up. We were doing
Math. Like up there?
Yes.
This is math.
It does. And how were we doing math? What were we trying to do? Yes?
All the time.
Right. Does anyone remember what time we started tidying up?
No.
We started at 11:30, right? So we started at 11:30, and then our goal was for how many minutes? How many minutes were we going to try to do it in?
Until it was 11:35, but then...
Okay, no, hold on a minute. So if it was from 11:30...
More and more and more.
We did. So if it was 11:30 to 11:35, how many minutes passed? How many minutes between 11:30 and 11:35?
5 minutes.
Right, because between 30 and 35, there's 5. Between 35 and 40, there's another 5. Now, when we got to 11:35, I suggested that we do another 5 minutes. But Mariana, you didn't say to do 5 minutes. You said to do 2 5s. So what's 2 5s, Mariana?
2 5 makes 10.
So now we went from 11:30 to 11:35, which was how many minutes? 5. And then we added on how many more minutes?
5.
We didn't add on 1 5 though. We added on 2 5s, which is how many minutes? 5 and 5 made 10. So if we have 10, and then we have our first amount of 5 minutes, we have 10 plus 5, and 10 and 5 more makes how many? So if you start at 10 and you add on 5 more, what do you get? Think in your head, and when you think you know, put your hands on your head. So 10 and 5 more. So 10 plus 5. How can we figure it out, Sarah? How can we figure out what 10 and 5 more makes?
I don't know. Google?
Okay. But without using Google,
15.
There must be a way to try.
15.
We can use the hundreds chart. Can you go up to
It's
that?
actually 15.
And you knew it.
I already knew it
Now,
was 15.
and you did, and Ricardo did, but I want to know how Sarah's going to find it out. So, Sarah, how could we do it? Do you want to flip that over? Here, do you want help? We got it. Beautiful. That's fine. Okay, so we start with what number?
10.
And then, how are we going to find out what 5 more is?
We could just look at the 5 and then the 5's down here.
Okay, and what do we get then?
15.
So, and it's kind of like...
And
five-
also...
Yes?
And then
Oh.
if you add 5 more, it's 25.
Hold on. I want to go to that one in a minute because I'm not so sure of that one. I want to hear Mariana's thinking first.
Also, how I did it was by I went to the 10,
Yeah.
and it went 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
How did you know to stop at the 15 though? How many did you count on?
I did because I started at the 10, and then I added 5 more, and I counted the 5, and then I got up to 15.
Now, this is where it's interesting because we said that if it was 5 more than that, Ricardo said it was going to be 25. How can we figure out, if we were at 15 and adding on 5, what could we do? What could we do, Jordan?
That actually is right. You start at 10 and you go to 15 and add 5 more.
Yeah?
Then it's 1,
And what does it make, Jordan?
20.
It
I
does.
counted with my...
And I know you did it in one way, but who was going to tell us this time? Right.
20
So
and 5 more
Jordan-
makes 25.
And 25 then, and 5 more makes what?
30. And then when you add 5 more, and then 5 more makes 40.
Now, hold on a minute. I'm thinking of counting by fives. When we counted by fives, we went 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. And when we count by fives on a clock,
Just like how it says right there.
right,
With
it's
the 5s, because 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100.
Right.
It's like a clock, but except on a clock you stop on the 60 and that makes an hour.
right. And so when we were adding fives then, we were also not just adding fives, we were also counting by.
5.
And you know what, Sarah, what I really liked about yours, while some people knew it in their head right away, you used a strategy. You used a tool. You knew if you didn't know it in your head, you could go there. It was the same thing that Jordan did. Jordan, you knew in your head that you weren't quite sure where to go, but he knew that he could count on 5 more and get to the right answer, which you did too. So it's okay to not know the answers right away, but it's really good to be able to use a tool. Figure it out. Really, really good.